Yes.
There's this book, The Power of Now. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I'm curious, I'm slightly confused. It kind of relates to some around the sort of principles. As far as I know, mind and body are so connected. One of the main points that the author makes that the mind is crazy. That you have to there is this presence, the being, that you have to separate yourself from the mind. What do you make of it? How do you?
I think that's silliness. Oh, let me retract that a little bit because I don't want to offend anybody. Especially since I have to follow the first principle, which says the world is whatever you think it is. That is one way. That is one way to try and interpret phenomena that we experience. Okay, it's like the chakras from India. There aren't any chakras, but Indians developed it as a way of explaining certain phenomena that people experience. The Chinese never used chakras. American Indians didn't use them. Indians were the only place in the world where they used the concept of chakras.
The Rosicrucians had the roses of life. They had 13 instead of 7. And that's associated with the same.
Yeah, but see, the Rosicrucians took a lot of their knowledge from what they knew of Egypt and India. Okay, so can't count that one. Okay, so different people have developed different ways of explaining phenomena. What you're talking about is someone else's way of explaining phenomena. What?
What's he actually trying to explain?
The feeling that an interpretation. First of all, the feeling that some people have, which is really almost at the same time an interpretation, that they're not in control of their own thoughts and something else is making them do things. Okay? Now, there's a phenomena in which sometimes it seems that you don't have control over your own thoughts or behavior. Some traditions blame this on a spirit who's come in and taken over. Some people, more psychologically oriented, would try and divide up yourself into the part that does this and the part that is reacting. We don't do that. We do have a division of sorts, not a true division, but a recognition of different aspects of ourselves, but this still wouldn't explain this part. So there's this phenomena of sometimes seeming that you're not in control. And so we say, you are in control of what you can be in control of. And because all power comes from within. Now, it's also possible for you to suppress your awareness of certain memories, associations, and behavior patterns that you have so that you feel separate from them. You can do that. You can also reconnect with them and take responsibility for them and thereby get control back. See, this is just another way of doing it. When we interpret things from this knowledge, the main criteria we have for choosing an interpretation and applying it is whether it fits the principles and helps people increase their power, increase their confidence, increase their effectiveness.
This book supposedly is about that.
Oh, I know.
If you stay in now, then you become sort of this one, this sort of being an observer.
Some people like the observer role. We think you do it all. There's just different ways of looking at the same thing. There's thousands of different techniques that people have, probably more than hundreds of thousands, that people have developed to try and help themselves and other people function more effectively.
Right? Maybe this guy had a dysfunctional mind and was useful, but
maybe what he has is a really good technique, okay, for some people. Okay? That's why I would retract my initial response, because it might work for some people. That's what really matters. Effectiveness is the measure of truth, not one way of doing things. Okay? So if it helps people, that's wonderful.